Warning, Archer's Garage Live is not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What's going on, fellas? Let's see, do I have everything? Desktop audio, mic, ATEM cameras is muted. Desktop audio is muted for now. And kind of tickling the red zone on my VU meters. What are you guys doing? Let's see what's going on over here. Let's see, Tom Dolby's hanging, TGM, Mail at Mail House. Right? Let's see, if they could find me a mini bike. Yeah, I kind of want one of those with, the drum brakes and just something a little bit more sophisticated. Maybe a little bit of gearing, kind of like what I had when I was younger. 80cc ish, it doesn't have to be like 125. Now you're getting into motorcycle territory. You might as well get a dirt bike or something. But, something with like about 80 cc, something that's going to move a little, right? Have a little oomph to it. I would prefer a 4-stroke, honestly, but the 2-stroke is lighter. But it's just less work having a 4-stroke. Robert goes, so I already read the 10th anniversary. Congrats, Mailhouse. Tom says two and a half for me. Yeah. Wow. Retired. I'm not retired yet. I can't do that yet. I'm like semi-retired. In a way, I am retired, but I'm not really successfully retired. Because to really be successfully retired, you need to have enough money where you can say, F it. If I don't want to work or make money, I don't need to. I can just literally stay here and grow mold on myself. Or grow mold maybe somewhere else. Maybe we'll have like a mold. Instead of having like a vegetable garden, I'll have a mold garden. And I can just sit and watch the mold grow. But that would be boring. But at least to be able to say that if you wanted to do that, like you could do that. Not that you would. No, it says... all those mini bike from back in the day when we were younger. Yeah, absolutely. Tommy says, I got 8 grocery stores and stuff within a mile. I think I need a mini bike. Yeah. Or do what Mailhouse does. He just drives one of his tractors around. Johnny Brower's here. Well, hey, Johnny. He goes, F it. I'm retired as I want to be, right? Well, I'm kind of about as retired as I want to be. I would just like to have more money. It's not enough just to have things and whatever, structures and infrastructure and everything. He kind of is boneyard. He goes, just stop in for a minute to say hi. Yeah, you just missed a little bit of the mini bike entertainment, boneyard. That's going through towards the end. A little bit of mini bike shopping from 1971. He goes, Tony says TGM. So I'm just kind of hanging out. I just got done working, and then I was hanging out. I'll show you what I was working on. And then I was hanging out with the customer for a little while because we were just chatting. Another mic, right? How many mics are there? Let me take this off. The world may never know. And then I sat down to eat, just grab a bite. Hold on, where can I put this? I need a place to put this. I need to put another hook somewhere. And then my brother called. So I'm like, all right, Dave, I gotta get off because I want at least do like an hour live or something. So I'm totally not prepared for anything. And I was working today, but I got up late, and then we had to bomb. I bombed the basement with the flea spray bomb, right? Because we got rid of almost all of the fleas from the 4 cats, and we did the big, thing to the house. Was it 2 weeks ago? Stripped everything down, all the clothes, all the bedding, all mopping the floors, washing the cats. They got bathed again too the other day. But then we like dum-dums, we were so overwhelmed. I guess some of the stuff got thrown downstairs or blankets or whatever. It was just too overwhelming. And they probably had fleas and flea eggs on them. And my daughter went down there the other night to do some laundry, and she came up and she said, Dad, there's fleas down there. I had cleaned the basement really, really good and arranged it and organized it in February. And then they started doing stuff, and then the dirt hit the floor, and they were fooling around getting the plants ready. We're almost done with the planting now. Like we've got so much food, And then I went in there to get the air conditioners out to put the air conditioner in, and it's a disaster. So now I got to get down there and vacuum because I closed up the basement Bilko doors and everything earlier a little while ago, as it was getting dark. And I kind of like walked around. You can still smell it, but you could see, right? There's some dead things hanging around. So I got to get in there, vacuum, get this other air conditioner I didn't use back down there. I'm going to have to find a way to lower it down because it's like 20,000 BTUs or something. Like, I don't want to lift it again. All right. I already lifted the two of them with contractor Mike getting them out. I think I'm just going to, I have like a ramp, and I think I'm just going to, wrap some rope or some rigging around it, put the ramp down the basement stairs, connect that to my tractor, and just back it down slow. Because once it's down there, it doesn't have to go very far and I can move it. But I can't pick it up and carry it. It's not. I don't want to do that. It's not going to happen. I don't want to do it. Even if somebody offers, it would take two people offering so that I could just stand there and go, yeah, go back a little further, Mac. That's it there. Face it this way. Yeah, all right, thanks, guys. That's all I want to do. So once it's back down there, I'll have my room over here in the front. I can neaten things up. I'll neaten everything else down there. I could put stuff back. It could live for however long it needs to live because that's the extra of the big, huge, gigantic air conditioners. So good big shout out to my friend Steve and his late father, Stan. Thank you, Stan, because Stan set me up with those I don't know, 10, 15 years ago or something like that. Hey, I took care of them. I put them away right. I knew someday I was going to need them. So I put them away correctly in a nice, pretty dry location. I had a cover over them. So I just want to test this one, but I'm sure it's okay. I should wipe it off and everything before I put it back down there. I want to see what everybody's saying. Hi. Boneyard says, did you see my mini bike videos? I built like a 1970 chopper. No, I didn't see anything on your channel. Did you do it recently, Boneyard? I'll have to look. We're going to have to check that out. Robert says, tomorrow is the day I get the Spray Max Clear Coat 2-stage so I can get the GT hood nice and shiny again. Nice. Just make sure you get all that cleaned real good. Because I heard you say something today like you tried polishing it. And those polishing compounds all have different types of silicones or whatever inside of them. And nothing will stick to it. So you're going to have to strip that hood with like a wax and grease remover of some kind. Because if you put any kind of, not wax, but polishing compound, if you used anything on that hood and then you think you're just going to wipe it off with Windex and spray clear on it, you're going to be very, very unhappy. So you need to wipe it down with some type of a lint-free cloth. And you could probably get away with maybe a little brake cleaner or alcohol, right? Strong alcohol. And then you need to scuff the hood with Scotch-Brite and then wipe it down again. Because if you don't do that, this shit, you're just wasting your money. It's going to look like crap. It's going to come right off. It's going to peel off. It's going to get all weird. It's going to get all crazed and fish-eyed and everything. So that's my advice. Let's see. He goes, he says, I did it like a year ago. Really? I'll have to check that out, Boneyard. Really? Well, I've been so busy and everything. It's just, everything's like a blur. Like this summer, Bravo says, he goes, I'm telling you, Arch, been through this before. You have to treat the cats with 1 month with flea treatment. Advantage 2 is best I've used. And I tried them all, really. Well, we may have to, but so far, they seem to be doing fine. But they're not cats, they're kittens. Like, I don't want to be using like really strong chemicals. And it's not even so much that the cats don't really have them as much as they did. For the most part, the house is pretty much clear. But like I said, everybody put all this crap down in the basement and forgot about it. And so now they're down there. Not the cats, the fleas. He goes, Bravo goes, vacuum every day, small pail of water and drop a dish detergent, and at night light over it works wonders. Okay. Yeah, we have something like, but we don't, I'm not going to mop that often. None of us are going to do that. We mop like every week, but we have something else. It's to help remove the fleas. And then Christina used vinegar the other day. She used vinegar and water and just get a quick mop. Robert says he used rubbing alcohol 91%. That'll work. Yeah, that'll get the wax off. That'll work. Yeah, that'll do it. As long as you've done at least that, but I would also put a little Scotch-Brite on it just to give it some tooth, especially if you tried polishing it, because it's going to be very smooth. So you want to give it a little bit of bite, something for the nuclear to lock in, because you're doing a mechanical bond. It won't do a chemical bond because you got powder coat or whatever there, so they can't chemically bond. He goes, Johnny Bro says the problem is the eggs. Yeah, are everywhere. You have to treat the cats or you will be battling this forever. Yeah. We have this stuff that it's like a soap that you work into the cats and then wash off, and it gets rid of only the fleas, but the eggs on the cats. So that we have. Christina did that again, I think yesterday or so, something like that. But I'll tell the girls about the advantage and everything. I think Boneyard's pulling out. He just wanted to stop in. Where did Boneyard go? He goes, you have to take off. Have a good night. See you later, Boneyard. Thanks for stopping in. So I was just eating. That's why, I'm going to go back in a little while and stuff my face some more. I got to check my blood sugar a little bit. So what are you guys up to? So Malhouse is working on his project. He's going to get his tractor cleaned up for the year. Try not to scratch it. It's not going to be hard for a couple of weeks, really, really hard, You kind of have to wait a little while for the paint to harden, even though it's got hardener in it, but it's not really hard for at least a couple of weeks. So if you get it, dirt on it, just give it a quick rinse with the hose before you wipe it, get that off. Of course, not to drive it underneath hedges and bushes. But yeah, it'll come out nice. So I actually finished, by the way, guys, I finished that stupid muffler. Oh my God. I think I have a picture of it. So it had some pinholes and whatever. So I'm like, all right, I'll just braze that. I'm not going to keep fooling around because it's too thin. I'll finish up that video at some point. I'm actually working on, I just want to put out a video, I think this coming week. I'm just going to put like a quick video out there when Mike came by with his two tractors, his two Simplicity Sunstars, and we're going to start up the one that's with the broken engine. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear that, but what a racket. That was scary. So I want to, I'm almost done with these little projects. In fact, I keep forgetting. Hold on. I keep forgetting. Let me hit this guy up real quick. Now that I think about it, because I'll just keep forgetting. His name is Brett. He's asked me about his generator. It's nice too. Like some of the people that I need or whatever, customers, the people that I know. I like being able to take interim photos or show people, hey, or little quick videos. You send them off and you can show them, like I was showing this guy Mike, who lives around the corner. I was showing him some stuff, what I was doing to his little, show you a little rototiller thing. Rototiller. Yeah, here we go. It's a nice little one. So this way I can explain to people what's going on or what's not right or what's broken or what I'm doing, how nice it's coming out, that kind of thing. I think I took, I'll just show a couple of pieces. Nice little Honda unit. It's nice sometimes to work on, 4-stroke. It's a 2-stroke that with a reservoir of oil. It's nice to be able to work on stuff that just isn't a complete total piece of crap. Oh, God. Like, I stopped taking in a lot of jobs. I'm like, no. I even turned big contractor Mike away. He's mad at me. He's supposed to come and pick up what I finished. And then we were talking about, he's like, I'm going to try to come over. It was like yesterday or the day before. I'm going to try to come over at like 5 o'clock. Thursday lawns. And then he says, the stander, which is the right stander, it won't shut off and something else is wrong. And we tried replacing the switch. I want to bring that. I'm like, don't bring it. Don't bring it. Don't leave it. I can't get to it. Oh, great. So now I'm not going to have it for the rest of the year. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I have commitments and people ahead of you. I've already been through this with him. Do not bring it. If I'm not ready to work on it and you're not ready to pay for it, it doesn't belong here. Because then he changes his mind and then I get pestered. Well, I got to come and pick it up. It's only going to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. No, it's like an hour later and you need help and it's not. No, I'm not ready for it. You're not dropping it off either. He's like, maybe I can fix it myself. Great. So now you'll make it worse. And it'll be even more money and even more for. I turned down a bunch of other jobs. He wanted me to fix these crappy Husqvarna line trimmers. And I've already gone through this with him before. Oh, bring him over and I'll pay you by the hour and I'll figure a couple of hours. No, you're not figuring my jobs for me. That doesn't work. I don't work that way. You are not a good judge of my time. In fact, nobody is. I'm not even sometimes a good judge of my own time. So I'm not going to let him do it. And I'm like, and then you throw out the original carburetors, which I've told you never to do, but you do it anyway. And then you try to hack on some pieces from something else, half-assed, or an aftermarket carburetor of unknown location and, whatever. And then I got to mix and match all this stuff. I said, I've already had you here with me showing you this. And it's just a waste of time. I'm like, maybe if it was all together and in one spot, then maybe, but that's not the only thing that goes wrong. You think it's a carburetor issue. What if the seals are no good on the end of the motor? He doesn't know what that means. And it leaks vacuum, all right? And it will never run right. And there was one here where I showed him that. I'm like, we took a carburetor from a running unit, right? We found a unit. We did the compression and tests and all the other stuff. We got the numbers. We put a carburetor on it. That carburetor was crap. We put a different carburetor on it. It ran fine. And then we went to another one where it had basically the same compression and everything. Husqvarna unit. We couldn't get it to run. I said, take the carburetor now from the one that you got running and put it on here. Oh, okay. I said, yeah, because this way we'll know, right? Because if it has spark, if it has the same compression and it's still not running, I'm telling you, it's probably the seals. He took the carburetor from the good one. He said, you do it. I'll sit here and watch. I'll have to go smoke a cigarette, have a cup of coffee, put my feet up, right? I'm like, I showed you what to do. You're doing it, right? Let me, I'm sitting here. He does it, puts the carburetor on, prime fuel, all that, won't run. Pull, yeah, pull. I'm like, bro, throw these out. They're garbage. So he wanted me to do this again. I'm like, no, I didn't. I went through this with you already. Were you there or were you high? No, I don't want to do that. I'm busy. I got all these other things to do. It's not about how much you pay me. I don't want to be pulling out what's left of my hair, okay? I barely have any hair left to begin with, other than hair on my ass now. I'm like, no, I'm not being frustrated. I've got so much stuff going on. I don't want to waste this time. He's mad. So I won't work on the stander. I won't work on some of the other. I have never showed you guys what I had to do in an emergency to get my company's going to fail, right? Because you took parts off of a perfectly good Time Master that I fixed. You put the different carburetor on without the proper gaskets. You just left gaskets out. And then I went over the drivetrain, everything, and the wheels were fine. Why are there wheels on the front of this missing inside bearings and the outside bearings are rusted and falling apart? How does that happen? Well, I guess, I don't know. What happened to the wheels that were on there? They were good. I don't know. I guess I did. You guess you did what? What did you do? What is that? Right? So I stole wheels from something else. I'm like, is this the game you play? And then it doesn't work and another one breaks and then you caused a problem with another one. And now you have no machines and you're coming to me in an emergency and my power went off. So I had no lights and no compressor. Right. And I'm like, bro, and I never really got properly paid for it. I said, what do you think I made today for all of this for you? to save your company as if it's my fucking problem. Like, no, get out of here, all right? I've helped you enough. Go away now and leave me alone. I have other stuff to do. So, no, I don't want to get involved in these hokey, because he's thinking of these things in this weird way because he doesn't have the understanding that I have. And then he goes and tries to work on this stuff, which would be fine if it was a side project, right? But this is, I mean, bro, this is your business. You don't do hokey shit like this. I don't know if it's some of the people that work with him or his father sometimes. This is the same guy. I was telling you, like 7 starter motors later and you still have the same problem on your... And he's like, can I bring it to you? I can't get this thing to work right. And I'm like, no, you're not bringing me the truck. I said, you'd have to leave the truck here for an indefinite amount of time. It's not something that you think you're just going to run it over in maybe a day. I'm going to solve. I said to him, where's the computer port? I forget what they call it. The something or other ECM port or whatever. It should be down below. It's not there. What do you mean it's not there? It's not there. It doesn't have, it's 1996 or something. I think I told you guys the story. It should be there. Why isn't it there? It should even have like an OBD1 or something. No, I'm like, either the date is wrong or somebody was in it and that's why you're having all these problems. I'm like, I'm not touching this. I'm not touching any of it. This is hokey crap. No, so he's mad, right? He's mad. A bunch of Liz is mad at me because I told her she's a slob and she's not doing well. I'm like, well, get your ass over here and let's hang out. She won't even try. She won't even try. Right. So I'm like, all right, you're useless. So now Mikey's mad at me because he's like, well, I'm going to pay you cash. I'm like, bro, it took me forever to make this stupid motor for you. Right. For you that I'm making nothing on. I went through all these different motors, which, by the way, all of these older Tecumseh engines, like 5 horsepower, the ones with the split shaft, it comes out with one size and then they taper the shaft down for the blade adapter. Like, they're all no good. This is my last one. Every one I tried, and I actually put one together and tried to run it, and it ran fine, and then it started to blow up. It started banging. I'm like, bro, why don't you pay me for this? Well, how about that cable? When are you going to do the cable on my go-kart? I'm like, I'm not touching the cable on the go-kart. Well, I'm going to pay you cash. Well, then come over and give me money for the work I already did. I'm like, bro, cash flow. I'm going to chase the cash flow. Well, I'm going to pay. When are you going to pay me? When? I got to be a dick to everybody all of a sudden. Go away. Leave me alone. So that's why I'm trying to take care of everybody that's like going to come over and pay for the stuff I did so I can have cash flow. So let me show you what I just did. I'm like, geez, go away. If you're... Contractor Mike still didn't show up to pick up what I finished that he's been waiting for like a month. Where were you, bro? What are you trying to fix your stander? How's that working out? Take it to a real mechanic. That's all. If it's not me, go to somebody else. Pay the money. Pay the big money. So let me show you guys this. This is good. So I have my rant already. Get the rant out early. All right? Get the rant out early. Oh, let's see. So Bravo's yelling at me to take care of my cats properly. See, everybody's yelling at me, right? Bravo says he's rubbing alcohol, get the wax off. Boneyard's leaving. He left. Problem is the eggs. Later, Boneyard, they say it takes at least 30 days to fully cure. Yeah, that sounds about right. Brett goes dilly dilly. Hello, gang. Malice says, there's a guy in Indiana. His channel is called Dragging Up. Dragging Up. Or called Dragging Up. That did a video on Toro wheel horse tractor with an Onan engine. Yeah, some people don't like the Onan engines. I've never worked on one, but I've seen some nightmare stories, but that can happen with a lot of things. Onan powered. I know there is some actually backstory to the company itself and possibly why it had issues, but they powered a lot of bigger, not really small equipment, but bigger equipment, to some degree. Brett says, hello, Roxy. The step shaft. Yeah, they're all dead because they're old. And here's something that actually, hold on, I'll get into this part of the rant. So I think it was, some of the guys on Ken's have mentioned this, but I think it was also something that Clouds had even mentioned a while back. And why he does, I think it was something to do with why he doesn't like, and a lot of people do not like, any oil or anything with any kind of cleaner in it, detergents in it, right? And this is what I noticed, because on that one motor that blew up, which I haven't shown any of this footage, I just put that usual oil that I usually use, which is it's for older motors, and it probably has a little bit more detergent to try to reduce some of the sludge buildup and open up some of the arteries, right, in car engines. But for small engines, I've seen this a lot. If you clean out a lot of the sludge, and there's a lot of sludge in these kinds of motors, and they're older, the motor may not last. It may actually die on you. And I'm not blaming it on the oil, because the oil wasn't in there that long. When you see that much sludge, and however it comes out or you come into it, it's because people have not changed their oil, like, ever. They may have added oil, which, like in a lot of these new engines, they say don't change it, just add oil. That crap just builds up in there. Remember, there's no filters on these motors. So it just builds up. And if you loosen it by whatever mechanism, even let's say you just decide that you're going to work on this motor now, and a customer or somebody brings it to you, and you're going to freshen it up, and you go through the routine, and you jostle it around, and you maybe empty it out, and you put some fresh oil in it, and you go and run it, right? The motor's just like, no, I'm done now, right? It's over. And so I have a whole bunch of these motors. I may have shown you a little bit on a live stream, but I will, when I do these videos, I will show them. I would crack open another one of these, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that's why it won't run, Nick. The compression is low. I put it up on the bench, right, on my rig, spin it up. I'm like, wow, the compression's really low on this. Let's see why. Pop the head off, right? Oh, look at all those scores. It's not for me. It's just because they're old. Those are some of the much older Takumi engines, and they haven't been around a long time. And I don't think in those examples, nobody changed the oil. That'd be my guess. And they died on the machine, and the machine got thrown out, and I bought it for scrap, and I'm looking to see, can I use this motor? Well, for that Mikey motor, right, I went through like 4, and that takes a long time to do that. And one of them wound up getting like the treatment, and it seemed like it was okay, and then it started to make noise. And even the one that I'm going to be giving him, which I put on another nice body and everything that you haven't seen really yet that much of, I'm like, I think this one's starting too. Like, some of this stuff is old, right? It's done. Like, it's 5 years ago was another story. 5 years later is now a new story. And 5 years from now will I'm sure will be completely the end of the story. I mean, that's just what it's coming to. Even those, I heard Brett say one day about, how like the regular Briggs Quantas, whatever, they're just tanks. Yes and no, because they're literally tired and worn out, and they've been around for a long time. And I don't care how much of a tank you are, the people that, when you get your hands on them, at some point you're getting it from somebody that has just not taken care of it. Which leads me actually to this. So I'm going to divert to the fellow that just commented, right? This I think is kind of funny. So let me get back to my channel, and I want to read to see what you guys are saying. Hold on. Let me get to my channel, find the feller, and let's see if I can find it. Make sure there's no sound or anything, right? No, there's no sound. So let me go see if I can find what this guy says. I'm going to find him. There was some good comments, too. Yeah, but, we don't read the good comments. Let's see. I'll find it. There's a lot of comments. Oh, yeah, here we go. Let me go to that video, and just to show you. And then I want to see. Let me set this up, and I want to see what you guys are saying. Oh, boy. A commercial for Ozempic. Great. Yeah, because that's not what you want to take. Another commercial now. Hold on. All right. Let me see what you guys are up to. Let's see. Hello, gang. Roxy. Message. Owned by now by Cummins. Oh, really? That's kind of neat. Just say to Tom. Now this is Quacker State oil used to be the sludge master back in the day. Yeah. Quacker State. Yeah. Is that like Quacker Barrel? That's funny. Brett goes, good idea, Arch. Commented on the good comments. Yeah. Publicly shame the trolls. Yeah. Yeah, Quaker State. Bravo's got it right. But he goes, Quaker D State was paraffin-based oil. Yeah, paraffin would go bad. Yeah, for sure. You wouldn't want to leave that in there. Well, there was a lot of the old oils. They were all... the feedstocks were different back in the day. Remember also, too, we had a lot of light, sweet crude back in the day. And depending on where you get the oil from, it's actually quite crappy, a lot of the oil. It's like bunker fuel. You know, it has to be well refined before you could make oil, like a motor oil out of it. You know? Unless, of course, you got synthetic stuff. But they make oil so much better today. Like, that is something that definitely has gotten better, for sure. All right, let me give you guys the rundown, like I did last time, on the video. Let me see. So this is fun. I like some of these, right? So this is most common lawnmower problems fixed, plus Briggs 190cc auto choke adjustments and more. So these are like the common, but it's not the only common things that break on a mower. And so it's just got some different stuff in there. I'm showing you, this is one where I showed there was a broken intake tube, the intake manifold tube, right? Very easy to identify, but you have to take the top of the motor off. So I'm talking about all that. In order to find out if that's your problem, you kind of have to take the top of the motor off. And then once you take it off, you're into, so here I'm actually showing you here that you could see it, it'll move. All right, see it moving? All right. So I'm actually talking about
you don't want
just
the banger guns.
Don't banger guns, right? So I'm just showing that, and then while you're there, right? You know, I also showed how the key, the Cotter key or the Woodruff key, whatever, can break in the flywheel. Here I'm showing you the broken tube. Very common that there's a crack, and then I talk about the Cotter key. I also talk about the gasket being an issue and retightening them, and then I show how to put the coil back. You really need to take the coil off to do this. It's a very common problem, and it's often overlooked. And I show a little bit about the key. I also show the choke setup. That's a separate thing. Usually they're not set right. They get dirty. People never seem to know how to put these back together. I've seen sheetrock screws through the sail, right, on one of these, like just screwed right through the sail. I don't know into what. I've seen sheetrock screw involvement. And I just kind of go through all of this stuff, right? And it doesn't have a lot of views. It was 9 months ago. So I'm showing you how to set up.
Just about stick my pinky in between
Right, set up all this stuff so that you know that it's working properly, so you can start your engine and, you know, and it's a simple machine. Oh, we have a commercial. Hold on.
And better laundry?
Oh my God! Put something on good for me. Oh, a double commercial. Wow, I'm really into the bucks. Hold on.
You don't have to.
Oh, it's one I can't cancel. Nice. They put high quality commercial in for me, fellas. Oh, we get Cologuard once again with the. I don't want Cologuard.
Let's give it a shot.
Right. So yeah, it starts right up. All that works. Right. And I'm showing adjustment of the spring to make it a little, tweak. And all right. So one would think, all right, Arch, that's not bad, right? So what does this guy say? He goes, I clicked your video to learn and try and fix my mower. I guess your videos are for those who know what you're doing. Sad, crying eyes. Talking about and know what they're doing, talking about and where they are located. I guess he means the parts, not the people that are, because that sentence doesn't make sense. Because where they are located, we refer to the people that know, right, what I'm talking about. So he didn't get his syntax right. He goes, I do not. Wasted time. Oh, look, and there's Zippo. I got to write Zippo. Hopefully everything is okay. He posted on that. So that was like 9 months ago. All right, let me come back. Oh my God. It's just, yeah, bro. Yeah. Yeah. How about, what do you think? You're going to just, because you don't know anything about mechanics, you're not handy, you don't know about all of these different parts, but yet either he doesn't have the money or is too cheap to bring it to a mechanic. So he's thinking that within about 5 or 10 minutes of his time, we as YouTubers should somehow insert our years of knowledge into this guy's brain so that he can go in a few minutes of time, go out there and not really have to learn anything and be able to fix his mower. And this is where, well, first principles would have helped this fellow, but he doesn't know about that. This is where ignorance is so bad, where, bro, you need to learn some of the terms and what these things are, because how would you expect anybody to show you what to do or what to fix if you don't even know what you're looking at? What did you think? There was a rabbit underneath the hood that all you need to do is feed it, and massage it, maybe clear the cage out a little bit. This is one of the reasons why I want to try to get away a little bit more from the how-tos, because there is a lot of that. That's why these people don't come back to my channel and watch anything else I do, because they're not interested in any of this shit. They don't know the effing first thing. And then what little bit that they learn, they want to learn it in 5 minutes. They're mad if you take any longer or show a cat. Like Brett was saying, I showed my cat. It almost wrecked my channel. Yeah, they're mad. So that's the problem with how-tos. That's why I have over 10,000 subscribers and 20 people will be here tonight, right? Or 200 people will watch the video when I release it, out of almost now 11,000 and well over 2 million views, right? That's the problem with how-to, because these aren't people that are interested in any of this. They don't want to watch you work on something. They're not going to hang out in the garage. They're not the people like the neighbor that comes over and like, oh, Arch, what are you working on now? No. They're the people that will call the town on you. Right? Oh my God, I smelled smoke. There was sparks coming out of it. My neighbor, actually, very nice neighbor, the husband was, but the woman, I put this nice patio area down and I brought my Nova over to take the engine out and to work on the chassis. And as soon as I get the patio down, the concrete's ready, and I have the big fence up, and I've done all of this, and I've got almost the entire car apart, and one day I happen to be grinding on something, and maybe a spark or two went over the fence. I doubt it. She looked out that window, saw sparks flying, and because her husband worked for the town back in the day, she called the town and they sent me a cease and desist order and said, if you do not have the vehicle removed from that area by such and such a date, remember it was all apart, then it will be towed out and I will be fined and I will lose the vehicle. These are the people, right, that will say things like this, and why the how-to envelope is kind of shit, because they will get angry. They don't understand. They're not going to hang out. They're going to be the neighbor that calls on you. Oh, he's making too much noise. He's got this shop. Do you know that he's got a business in his yard and he makes money? I mean, these are the Karens that are out there. Literally, it's bad. So, yeah, I want to get away from that. I want to do more of the kinds of projects that 10 people will watch but enjoy it, and they'll actually enjoy it. Then 22,000 people will watch, and really, they're never going to watch anything else. They won't donate. They won't hang out. They don't hit the like button. They don't subscribe. I mean, how do you have over 2 million views and only 10,000 subscribers and only about 200 to 300 people watch your videos on any given day, and maybe 20 or 30 comments? Maybe. Like, those ratios are so ridiculous, right? That's the problem with YouTube, and I can't imagine it getting any better. Let me catch up with you guys. It was a good rant. I think so. Let's see. He goes, whoa, Quaker State, Quacker State. So now it has a new name. We're all going to call it Quacker State. Do they still make oil? Is that still a thing? Is that still a company? I don't think I've ever seen it, like, recently. Mr. Somebody's here. He goes, those engines are great. Hard to kill them. Yeah. Robert says, Robert, my mom was a school teacher. If I used bad spelling or bad grammar, she'd visit me in my dreams and beat the shit out of me. Yup. Still, yeah. Absolutely. This is somebody who says, love the simplicity of the carb too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Paraffin wax is candle wax, I believe. Yeah, pretty much. It's basically the same derivative. I mean, it's paraffin. Well, right, this stuff that I like, because I always talk about it. Let's see. Where are you? Oh, you're over here. You're out on the table. Hold on. So, I love chain wax. Right? I always talk about this. It's paraffin. And what's nice, I mean, it coats, you can coat your ignition parts, ignition system, your flywheels, the magnets, the coils, all kinds of things. A version of this, you can put a paraffin base. It's got other stuff in it, but goes on your chain, right? Doesn't drip. Machined parts, right? And, if you machine something or grind it and you're going to leave it for a little while, maybe not ready to install it, certain bearing surfaces. I love it. It's just like a great thing to have laying around. Basically paraffin. I mean, good old school stuff. We've been dripping candles on door jams and like my double hungs. I actually need to drip some wax and put some wax on those things because they're getting sticky. And paraffin's great for that. It doesn't have issues with a lot of the other chemicals and lubricants that we use, so it doesn't cause problems like silicone sprays and stuff, which are useful. It's not as toxic. To me, that's a big benefit, right? Not having something as toxic. Oh, look at my other socks. I didn't even get a chance to take a shower yet because I just went from doing one thing after the other till I'm like, oh, I might be able to catch a live or something and hang out for a little bit. Slab some pizzas down. I can take a leak in a minute. I didn't even get a chance to do that. But yeah, I love the paraffin stuff. I also like the chain lube, not the wax. The lube is more like a gel. So like just all-purpose stuff. Like how many things do you really want to hold on to? I have these racks of chemicals and paints and everything. It's like at some point you're like, geez, how much of this stuff do I need to keep on hand? After a while it just gets to be too much. He goes, that guy sounded like a total douchebag. Yeah, a bag idiot. Yeah, he was. It's not. No, he was not a douchebag idiot. I would say that might be a little too harsh. Brett's mad. Brett's mad tonight. Look out. Stand back. I would say just one of these not knowers that I guess they've never really had to try to do anything and realize what a lot of us go through in trying to learn things and work on stuff and how much time you have to put into something. Again, when somebody doesn't value your time, this guy did not value the time that I put into it, and he didn't value the time that is required. He didn't want to spend the time. So then go get a mechanic. Go hire me. Instead of thinking that some version of me out there on YouTube, like I said this before, they want us to fly out on our dime, right, on our money, and fix their machine without getting in their way and don't stain my driveway. Oh my God, you stained my, he stained my driveway. Stan, come over here. He's staining the driveway. Are you going to clean that up? They don't stain the driveway. Don't offer you a beer. Don't offer you coffee. Please don't smoke on my property. And then they want you to leave and they won't even give you a tip. We've all know of people like this, right? I don't know. I mean, if anybody's ever worked for anybody or done something, it's like when you're a kid, you go and you cut the lawn for somebody and you knock on the door and you go, oh, I'm done with your lawn. And the lady comes out. Oh, good. Thanks. Door shuts. You don't get an iced tea, right? You don't get a candy bar. You don't get anything. They're just like, oh, thanks. Door shuts. Or when you go Halloween, right? You go out for Halloween and somebody comes out with pennies, right? And they throw, like rolls of pennies, really? Now you've made my bag harder to carry. What the hell am I I'm a kid. What am I going to do with these rolls of pennies? Or they give you an apple. I'm like, gee, thanks, ladies. You got an effing razor blade. I want toxic candy. You know that. I want super sweet, rot your teeth, toxic candy that when I go home, I'm going to be up all night. My parents are going to kill me because I'm going to be racing around the house. Candy. And lots of it. Right? So then as the kids would flag those places, right? They would flag them like, oh, that's the lady that gave. These are the people that watch us, right? Sometimes, right? It's bad. It's bad. Anyway, so Brahma goes, Arch, he goes, I appreciate your customer base. If they figure out what all you know, he goes, they have no more use for your services. Yes. Let's see if Brett's sending me some stuff. Oh, he got something. Hold on, we'll get to that in a minute, Brett. Hold on. He goes, Bravo goes, hey, now, I don't give it about most of the tech details in these thingies. I just look forward to and enjoying hanging out with you guys. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's probably more important. And you know what? For me, it's like exposure to something, eventually you learn something. If you're around something for a while, even if you're not paying attention, some of it's going to wear off on you. It just does. It's just how it works. You have to be in it. You'll see something that'll catch your eye, and you'll be like, oh, that's kind of neat. That's interesting. I like that. I was telling this teacher guy, the guy that was here, I said, I can't tell you how many times I will watch something on YouTube. It's like an hour long on some of these videos. And I try to pay attention to it. I watch it because I know usually if it's somebody that I like or I think it's a good video, I might know almost everything that's in it. But whether it's something funny, like a joke or whatever that made my day, or something I've never seen done before, the money shot. I know sooner or later, if I hang, it will all be worth it because that money shot will come. And usually if something's good and somebody's doing something interesting, there's a money shot in there somewhere. And I'm willing to wait. I have patience for it, you know. And if not, then I'm not watching the right video. But I don't get mad. I never say anything to these people. And it's really rare that I ever find a YouTube video that for somebody or something that's just not going to work out. I kind of know what subject or whatever, and I kind of have a feel for it right away. I'll give it a little bit of time because, you know, some people, when they start off a video, you're not really sure where they are, where they're at. Oh, there's Ma! Hi! He goes, what's up, fellas? Let's see. I also want to see Mike says, what's up? He goes, what's up, fellas? What's up? He laugh. I stole a whole bunch of pics that you sent me from our conversations, the ones with the Sunstar, and I'm weaving them into the footage that we took more recently. So I just did that last night. I'm like, okay, let me grab that one. That one would go good here. I don't know if it'll help, but it tells the story and it's just fun to do. And so I also figured out how to use this other software package for my cameras that actually pulls the pictures off of this phone properly and sticks them in the folders the way I like them as pictures. But the videos, though, I need the iTunes crap. I thought I installed it, but that was on the other operating system. Remember, this is a newer operating system, so I have to install, not iTunes, the thing that Movie Maker or whatever you use to play Apple stupid movies. I have to install that. He goes, because they still make that oil, Malhouse goes. Mr. S says, he goes, how did you do on a push mower sale this year? He goes, we did 70 of them this year, which is nice. So push mower wise, I sold a couple of them. I haven't been selling stuff. I've been busy fixing things. And like this year, I'm like, I say it was kind of the same thing last year. I've just been doing so many other things that I'm like, I don't have time to fix these. I've been repairing push mowers and stuff. So I did a whole bunch. But selling them, even Mike has asked me, he's like, you don't need anything? I'm like, no, Mike, I want to get rid of what I have. I could easily reduce the size of my garden back there by half. Some of it can be parted, some of it can be thrown out, and then the rest can be turned into usable machines. But now I'm basically out of time. I put aside like 3 or 4 baggers, things that people have given me or whatever. I did a couple of repairs and people have I think I sold a couple and did a couple of repairs and people had given me their whatever machines and they came with bags and stuff and they kind of run. So that means they're going to get the usual arch where I clean everything, I make everything nice, especially if they kind of run and they're in halfway decent shape. They may not get paint or anything like that, but they'll get all cleaned up. Those will sell even in the fall because around here with the leaves and everything, people they would need or like to have a well-priced push or self-propelled bagger with a mulching blade, some combo unit. That will sell. So I saved those, and I got a lot of that stuff early in the year. But yeah, I haven't really had time. I'm just doing so many other things. In fact, I'm not going to have time. I had some tractors I wanted to do. Let me see what Brett says. He goes, there's a story on boneheaded moves on my part. Yeah, that story's in there. I made sure, on the parts where Mike tells the story of how everything wound up back here, I made sure the audio quality was slightly enhanced so that you could hear him, right? And tell his story. It's actually funny, I think, in a way. It's not funny in a good way. It's funny kind of in a bad way, sadly. But it is kind of funny because Mike tells it. So Mike's funny when he tells shit. And it just comes out weird. Like, he was saying something to me, and I forget what it was. He goes, I had made this comment. I'm like, these machines are pretty durable. They're really kind of hard to screw up. And you hear his giggle, and which just really adds that extra bit. And you hear him giggling. He goes, I didn't have a problem fucking it up. It was easy. Oh, and then I'm like, Mike, why is the oil so black? And then it gets quiet. And, in the burned out motor. And you hear his giggle. And I went, oh no. And he tells us the truth as to why the oil, it was something to do with oil, used diesel oil or something he was pouring in his chainsaw as cutting lube or something like that wound up in the engine. Oh no. I don't want to know, Mike. I don't want to know. Is that how you broke it? No, but that's why the oil is so black. I didn't have anything else laying around. Yeah, because you're in the middle of nowhere upstate. We got to get him to, this time around, we got to get him to bring stuff. Oh, I know this machine. Let's see. I acquired this earlier this week. A Noma with a 5 horsepower Tecumseh. Yeah. Yeah, these were small. Yeah, it's basically like a Murray. Yeah. Why does your picture look like you're smoking in front of it? It's all hazy and fuzzy. You got fingerprints all over your lens or something? What is that? Yeah. Those were too small for me. Like, they don't pick up the New York snow. They're just too small. I hated it. Good to sell, though. Good to fix and sell. I have a machine back there. Nobody wanted to buy it last year. It's just like this, only a little bit nicer. Might have, yeah, I think it even had the 8 horsepower on it. Nobody wanted it. Right? Nobody wanted it. $250. Nobody took it. I'm like, I'm done. Right? This industry's garbage, especially here. Yep, especially here. The industry's actually just trash. It's brutal. Let's see. He goes, push more for sale is here. Did 70. That's good for you. Robert says, I bought a can of Lucas Red and Tacky spray. Jamie, hey, Jamie, screwing a kid happened to me. Yeah, right, Jamie? That's what I'm saying. Right? I've lived it. We've all seen it. And like these people, guess what? These people watch YouTube. Right? How scary is that? That's a scary thought. And they might be watching your channel. He goes, that's overspray red paint. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it does look like it. Because I had one like that and the job wasn't very good. Yeah, the overspray. It's like some people will clean up a machine by just doing a quick overspray. Well, Mike repainted his tow behind. I thought he did a very good job. One time, contractor Mike, because I did a couple of machines and he saw what I did. And so he got this machine. I think it was, I forget which one it was. It was one of the machines. Was it the one I just showed you? What the hell was that machine? That walk behind. Anyway, one of the machines he did. No, it wasn't that one. It was something else. He spray painted it red. It was I think it was one of the Toro Time Master or Turf Masters. And he's like, oh, and I cleaned it up like you did. I'm like, no, you didn't clean it up like I did. So I went to service it. Of course, I clean everything. And as I was pressure washing it lightly, all of that red chips came flying all over the place. And then it comes back in here and he comes over and he goes, what happened? I said, Mike, that's not, you can't just spray over stuff. You have to prep the surface. You know. I give him credit for trying, but some people will see you do something, but they will ignore all of the hard work and prep that's really required to actually doing the thing so that it comes out right. They'll somehow skip over that part. Like I've had people do that too with like, oh, you didn't show this part. I'm like, yes, I did. It's right over here. That's the part you skipped over when you were fast forwarding through everything. Oh, it's brutal. Brett goes, hi, Mike. He goes, Jamie, he goes, newspaper was 90 cents a week. They wanted the 10 cents back. I know they couldn't even give you a tip of 10 cents. That's so abusive. Bravo says, he goes, I just got a herd of 5 deer. Oh, nice. Showed them in my backyard, BRB. He goes, I got to go put the corn out. And the cat. Let the cat go chase them around. That is so cool that you have that. I'm envious. I would love that. Yeah, that would be fun. Bro says, back now. He goes, they are so cool. Yeah. And Darwin's out. Yep, Darwin's out there watching them. He goes, you don't even run. He doesn't run anymore. Yeah, they don't run either. Nobody runs. Yep. Because they're all used to it. And they know the corn is coming. You know, you always got to wait for the corn. You know, corn's important. I'm the great Cornholio. Very cool. Now it's because I want to buy the Kings Island Psych Hospital. I think it's down. He goes, and live there by myself. Oh, the haunted voices and everything. I think they took that down. Mike, did they take down that Kings Park sanitarium? I don't know if it's still there. I remember that place. I think my late mother-in-law worked there. You know? I remember one time I was working for my friend Arthur, right? His family, Italian family. We're in Douglaston, Queens, and I'm working for Cousin Johnny, right? And his father. In an apartment they were building for Cousin Johnny when we were young in Douglaston. And it's right up the block from the Douglaston Sanitarium, whatever, psych hospital. And one of the ladies got out. And the people get out. And he goes, hold on. And he goes, that's my kind of fast food. Deer in the yard. Yeah, Mike would be, yeah. Well, there would be one less one, right? Come morning, the usual. So I'm working there, and next thing I know, there's this lady person saying strange things to me. And I'm like, where's this lady come from? And then I think it was Johnny or whatever came around, and they're like, oh, yeah, she gets out every now and then. I'm like, well, she's bizarre. Yeah, that's the psych ward up the block. They would get out. Yep. And he goes, it's closed, but still up. Okay, it is still up. Yeah, Mailhouse wants to buy it. That would be cool to own that place. It's a big place. It's big. It's probably a mess. Especially if the roof is damaged, you know? Oh, that place would be a mess. Yeah, the Toro Time Waster, as somebody says. I have a couple of them now. I have enough parts now to put one together with some motor on it. Right? What Brett and I want that motor from the yellow Cub Cadet, the Cub Cadet motor, which is a nice motor. Although I may put an old school. I was telling Big Mike, I'm like, maybe I want to put that old Briggs on that green Deutz Alice that's back there, that little green Deutz Alice. I think it's got like a 12 horsepower old school Briggs with the old school style carb, you know, with all the adjustments. I'm like, I don't know how the shaft would fit, but at the time I was mentioning that I didn't have a lathe. I still don't have a lathe because I'm not done with it yet, but I could make an adapter because I could just spin it on. I mean, once that lathe is done, that would be, if for some reason or other there was a difference because bolting it on and welding pieces to bolt that engine on is not an issue. The only issue would be is whatever I would have to do to a blade adapter or a drive adapter is really what it is. Which that would be a fun project. Old school Briggs, right? 12 horsepower, whatever it is, from the Deutz Alice mounted to a newer style Time Waster. Right? And some people would say, why would you do that, Art? Because, and that motor runs fine. So when I go to get rid of the body, I actually have it on my channel somewhere. It's in. I found it. It's in with some other stuff, and now I don't remember where I found it because I was looking for it, and then I found it. It's actually on my channel, but it's in with some other stuff I was doing, and I did kind of a walk around and whatever, and we started it, and I ran it, and kind of drove it a little bit. It's a neat little mower, but it's so messed up. Stuff is broken. It's got the wrong size tires and rims. It will not cut lawn because it's up too high. Mikey put some tires and he was fooling around. He didn't know what he was doing. I gave him some money for it. I had some fun with it. It's been back there forever. Sun glare. Somebody goes, Toro time waster. Brett says, I may do a video on winter. Yeah, you mentioned that today. Why don't you do that video like I suggested? He won't do it. He won't talk about it. And he goes, first of all, to turn the comments off to keep the trolls out. Or make so comments had to be approved. You could do that. But the trolls, he goes, you need a 1 inch shaft, 1 inch for the Time Master. Robert says, gold mine, I got the she gold mine, I got the shaft. Oh, I gotcha. Good. The comments are good though. It's what helps lift up the channel and lift up the video, even if they're stupid. You know, I mean, even negative comments are good. You know, or negative, thumbs are good because it's attention. You know. It's just attention. And you could make fun of it. So that's fun, right? You bring the bad comments here. We'll look at them. Have like bad comment evening or section, a section of what we're doing. All right, let me show you what I wanted to show you. Just this couple of quick little things. And you know what? Let's go to pee break. Hold on. Because I got to pee. I said that before like 20 minutes ago. And I'm like, I still have to pee, but sometimes if you don't break seal, you don't think about it. But then when you break seal, let me see here. How long was we've been here? Actually, we've been hanging out for an hour and 10. Yeah, we got a little bit more time. We could take a quick pee break. Good Lord says yes. Sometimes you just need a quickie. Just a quickie. Especially after a night out or something. I think we all had aggressive streaming. You guys remember? All right, let's see. Let's see. So I think what I got left, I got my sister's pressure washer, which she's been waiting a year for. But all that really is the HIPAA carburetor that I put on there. It ran fine, but the float must have lifted up. Something happened because of the way they make things today. And fuel went in and got into the cylinder and locked it up. And then she damaged the pull cord trying to pull it, and she hurt herself. So I'm like, why is this thing locked up? So I took the pump off thinking maybe the pump was seized. Nope, pump's fine. The engine wouldn't turn over. But at some point when I initially looked at it, well, the starter pole was jammed. And then I fixed that, and then I'm like, there's really nothing wrong with it. Yeah, because all the fuel had leaked down at some point, which is just not good, went into the oil. And I noticed it after I cleared all that those problems, but what I was like, what's wrong with it? I did a compression test. I wasn't quite sure until I brought it back outside sometime later, and I had a bunch of machines I was working on, a bunch of other things too. And I ran it, and I'm like, all right, so it's in a lineup, and I'm going to, I need to fix the wand. It's got some issues with the O-rings, etc., the hose. So it was sitting to the side, and it does have a fuel shut off I installed and a filter. But I had that open because I'm like, okay, this seems to be running. I don't know. We'll test it. And when I went to go past it to kind of get ready to kind of fool around with it, after doing some other stuff and some footage, I see it dripping. I'm like, and it was dripping. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's not good. And that's probably why it locked up, because it's dripping, drip, drip, drip. It's kind of probably ran into the engine, and when she pulled it, I think it pulled once, whatever. It grabbed a slug of fuel, brought it into the combustion chamber, and stopped. So and I like HIPAA stuff, but this is the crap that you can't be a mechanic doing this stuff anymore. How do you, there's no money. For what little bit I charged her for that to do, I mean, I did charge her. I had to come up with the motor and the frame, and I put the pump, and I had all the stuff that I had, and I put it all together. And so I don't know why I didn't charge her much, but even if I charged her more, when it comes back like that, because of a carburetor or whatever, you can't make any money in this industry anymore. Like, they just hate you. Like, there's no meat on the bone for a slightest little thing. Unless, of course, you just want to sharpen blades, something safe. And pressure washers are the biggest loss. And I have another video, too, coming out at some point where I brought in a couple of pressure washers and I told the guy, I don't think these are going to work out. And here's why. But when you say here's why, and they don't know what you're referring to, like this last guy that commented, they just hear, this is what they hear. They hear what my old dog, my God rest his soul, or whatever, they hear this. They hear blah, 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 food. Blah, 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 frisbee. Blah, 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 blah. That's all they hear. And they smile if they're nice to you, right? And they look at you, and you're going, it probably won't work out because people destroy the palms, and they're not hearing any of that. So then I sent them pictures. Like I said earlier through the phone, I said, look at all these pictures. You see this? I said, you see all that fur inside your white fuzz and fur inside your pump? Oh, that's right. Yeah, we do have hard water over by me. Yeah. And you see how you left the hose and the wand connected? And you see when I removed it, I couldn't get it to come off because you left it connected with that column of water, of hard water, sitting all through that hose into the input side of the pump, and I can't get it off because it's rotted. And then when I finally managed to get it off, there's all that rot in there because you were too lazy to remove it. And that column of water that sat in there and rotted it and then most likely froze. And he's like, oh. And I said, you see this other one that's actually nicer? I said, how much are you willing to pay for me to get the motor to run right before we can even check the pump? No, really, how much are you willing to pay me? $100? Because if you pay me $100 to get the motor running right and do a tune-up, and I spin that pump over and it's no good, you owe me $100 and you still don't have a pressure washer. Oh. Well, what about this? You have to replace the carburetor, take it off, or find out. I don't know if it needs a new carburetor. Maybe an aftermarket one, but if the aftermarket one screws up, I don't know. Are you going to pay me to go in and remove the carburetor and check everything else over to see if the carburetor is any good? Because you're going to have to pay me to do. They think it's all free, like this. Just go in and do this. It's like I almost don't even want to do any of this anymore. Really, I'm like I'm ready to retire. Who was it that retired today, fellas? What did Kenny say? Somebody named Wayne retired. Was it Wayne that with his son? From Canada, or was it somebody else that I have no idea? 48 years? Was it that Wayne? What did he retire from? I thought he was retired. What, did he retire from YouTube or working with his son or something? What happened there with that? I didn't catch that whole first part. What's Wayne doing? Wayne, is that you? Oh, look, there's Mater. Hold on, Mater, we're almost done. And Robert says, I have attention deficit disorder. He needs to be ordered to have his attention. Oh, Mater says, did something show up in your email, Robert? And Brett says, anyone notice how high up on the wall the toilet? No, I didn't notice that. That's great. Yeah, I know. That's like the big argument as to when you're like redoing tiling in a bathroom, there's always this argument over like, where do you put the toilet paper roll? And I see this a lot. Like on my bathroom, you know where they put it? Here, right? So now I'm like, is that because it's closer to my ass? Because in order for me to get a little bit of toilet paper, there's only two types of people in this world. There are wadders and there are folders. So in order for me to choose which one I am, I have to torque my body with a bad back after I've just taken a shit. And somehow, like this uncomfortable position go like this, right? And pull the toilet paper off. And then you can't, from that location, successfully reach around because you actually have to turn back straight again after gyrating in that position to then cock your weight, unless, of course, you're a lefty, because then you might be able to reach around. But if you're a righty like me, I have to come back around this way and then do this. So that's a problem, right, where it's located. Now, in my downstairs bathroom, it's not so bad because it's up here a little bit on the wall because there really is no other place to put it. So I've left it there, but it's loose, and the cats keep trying to rip all the sheets off of it. And so a lot of times when you go in there, there's actually toilet paper still on it, but it has claw marks and holes and missing sections of all the little sheets because they somehow do whatever they do to it. So yeah, that's interesting point of view that you got there. A little notice there. That was good. Because I meant to say she's got the gold mine. I got the shaft. Nice. Valos goes. That's a good one. Brett goes, LASIX lady. Yeah, she's got the power. She's got the power. Yeah, everyone needs a bidet. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Bidets are nice. Yeah, we do. I don't know why in America, why we don't have, like, bidets as a rule. You know, totally. It's the best thing in the world, especially if you're somebody that's on your butt a lot. You know, like my friend, the cop, and my other friend, well, I don't talk to him anymore. But, like, he was constantly sitting down because he gets stuck in traffic. I'm like, bros, you need to clean that. Oh, it's itching me. And my friend, the cop, it's itching me. I can't take it anymore. I'm like, bro, you need to clean it properly because he was on his butt a lot, you know, because they spend a lot of time either doing paperwork or just driving around. Just got the email made. Jamie goes, ultimate was they would cancel the newspaper a week before Christmas and then start the subscription after the new year. Boy, some people are really bad. Malice goes, Henry the Mowers and Blowers says free. Robert Malice goes, I wrap the toilet paper and then wipe my, wipes his highlighter. He goes, he's a rapper. I mean, like around your hand like that, and then just hold it like that and just go, and then you can flip it, right? And then you can go, right? So just wrap it around you like a glove, right? Malice says he uses a mitt to wipe his butt, is what he's telling us. He's basically using a mitt of some kind, you know. Everybody's got to do something. I don't know what it is you're doing, but you're going to have to do it. Or not. You know. Or not. So anyway, what is he doing? So I wanted to show you this. So just real quick, we'll just take a quick peek at this. So this is a nice machine. Let me convert over to here. This I thought was nice. It's nice. Just show you like a piece. A little piece. Let's see, where are we? So I finished up the transmission end. All right, last quick look. That's the arrangement. Let's check it though. But the book shows it like that. Well, in their cheesy diagram. Yeah. All right, let's put the air cleaner back on with the gefilte. Bring it out for one last quick look. And I had cut a tie. I don't think it matters. He's not going to change this. But I had cut a tie here. Maybe I want to. Yeah. Kind of fasten that a little bit better. Yeah, I did. Yeah, let's see. Not a bad little machine. It's a Honda. I just really want to just spin it up. It's no Mantis, but they're the same. Engine on. I think choke goes up. Yeah. Let's start it. Up. It was getting a little stuck. The throttle was getting a little stuck. It's been tossed around. Choke up. Choke off. Might want to bring that idle down. Yeah. Hold on. It's been tossed around a lot on the bench. I had to run it on choke just for a few minutes. I didn't touch anything else. But she starts right up. Runs good. Yeah, that's good. So it has not been run. Oh, I don't want that. Go away. Okay. It has not been run in a long time. Where am I on my list here? Let's see. I have to find where I am. Look at all these videos. That's just my iPhone. Oh, I have some cat shots. So this was working on a transmission, all that. Let me see. Let's kill my channel and throw some cat shots in there. I think this is the better camera. Yeah. So let's, so yeah, just some of the basics. I just wanted to show you that. And can we find the cat shots? This is Mike's blower. Well, that's it all done. All right. And not bad. It runs good. The muffler's hidden behind there. I got another shot. I'll show you. You know, got it cleaned up a little bit more. Look at they ripped apart the thing. Oh, jeez. Sometimes it just makes me angry, some of the stuff I see. Now here we go. This one maybe? It's hard to start. Yeah, it's big motor.
It's gonna want to move on me.
Yeah, that's the muffler pick there. I cleaned it up with some of Super Clean's brake and all-wheel cleaner. It did a nice job. And then I think I have a shot of the brass. Oh, look, his kitty shots. I think they're kitty shots here. Yeah, here we go.
Look at this. This one. I don't know which one this is.
That's great. Thanks.
Binks.
Beans.
Beans. So nobody knows. And then these two here. Look at this. That's Marley. That's the female, Missy.
She's so pissa.
Oh, you finally
That's
remember her
Mama.
name.
Yeah, that's Mama.
This is
That's Binks.
It's Binks. It's Blackie. His head's upside down. No, I don't know. He's got a little... No, he doesn't have the white spot.
That's Binks. This is Beans.
So we'll turn the light on, but there's Beans.
Beans has his mom's eyes, which you can't see, obviously.
Yeah. Yep. Oh. Something happened. Itch. Probably fleas. All right.
Oh, God. They are so silly. I'll have more pics, but I was like, all right, I'll get the other camera. But now I know how to deal with my iPhone. So I'll have more pics of them. But yeah, here is... I think this is one of the last looks. No, that's with some TIG on it. Did I take a pic? I don't know if I did take a pic of it when I was completely done. It might be on a different camera. Oh, yeah, I know where it is. Hold on. 823. It is on 823. Okay. So 823 under this one. 823. I think this is some of the last little bit of brazing I did. Yeah, a little bit of TIG work. I also did a little bit of... I used the TIG torch to do a little bit of silver solder, but this is not the right application for that. It's much easier to do like a little bit of brass, braze. Let's see, 826. Yeah, I think this is a bit of braze. Is this a bit of braze on it? Yeah, I think this is a little bit of braze. Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
Brazing's fun.
Side, so let's just put some material here.
Brazing's kind of fun. I don't know what this one is. I don't remember now. It's last week. Yeah, there's some more braze on that. A couple little patches. And I think this is what it came out like. So I got most of the staining off
All
of
right,
it.
it's the next thing.
But I didn't try to take all of
It's
it
the
off.
next thing.
A lot of that black is
It's pretty
flux.
flat. You got a little area over here, but I can barely grab that with my fingernail. Just barely. I don't want to keep fooling with it.
It's too thin.
Same thing over-
You'll just burn another hole somewhere else. I think that was it. Yeah, this is all just basically working on this guy here, which will be a separate video. But it's so clean. I got it nice and clean. It was
I
in
feel
really
like a
good shape.
So let's just orient.
Oh, and he did get, yeah. He did find a new Japanese carburetor. Or at least that's what it
All right,
proposed to be.
fellas, so he found. I don't know if you could see it, because I can't see. Honda 16100 or
Yeah, here's the carb.
16100.
Replacement carburetor.
Also picked up an NG. I mean, you think that a shoot up ice cream man. All right, same carb. We'll put this on now. Oh, this looks nice. Looks correct. In fact, this one has the.
That was
rubber
like 20
O-ring,
bucks,
which seems to have been
something-ish,
lost. I don't
to
know
your
if
door,
it's
tax and
required or not,
shipping.
but there's the valve, the body itself.
His carburetor was
And then
so
this is
bad. Did I show it? I don't know when it was. But I did show it. Uh-oh. What did I do with that footage? That's not good. I should have it somewhere. It's probably mixed in with other things because I had to stop his shit because we needed to order a carburetor. Yeah. Oh, geez. I hope I have that footage. I didn't erase it. I don't remember now. Oh, it could be on something else. Anyway, I'm coming back. I just wanted to show you guys that. I'm coming back. I don't know. It could be under OBS, my OBS folder. I might have done it and connected it to the computer. But yeah, I got my sisters to do, and which is just a quick job. I just want to take the carburetor apart and see what's going on. And if I can steal a carburetor from something else and get another carburetor. And then I got to just do a quickie on that, on this guy, Brett. He's got a big generator. And it just needs a quick going over. Mostly just clean out the carburetor and change the oil and give it a tune-up. And get it out of here. And then when I'm done with that, Mikey's going to have to wait with his throttle cable because I want to start cleaning the Sunstars and pulling the motor. I think most likely what I'm going to do is just pull the motors, do the motor swap to the better machine, to the machine that's in nice shape. That just because so many other things were done to that machine, and I've gone over it properly. And so the body and the brakes and the bearings and everything is lubricated and everything works smooth, and the transmission was serviced and all that was done. So I'm just going to pull motors, get everything clean, pull motors, then do motor swap and be done with it. And whatever parts are left over are just the parts that are left over. And that's just, I think that's just the best way to go about it and just do it. It's really the least amount of work up front, and it just makes sense. Because to take everything apart, I got to pull the deck off of the one that you'll see this week, off of the one that we refurbished and Mike blew the motor on. Because the deck's in the way, and it's got to come off anyway. And also Mike wants to swap the blades. He wants to put the other blades in and not use the big mulching blades, just use the regular blades. And a bunch of other things, and just get the motor swapped and get everything going again and put it back together. So my garage is basically ready for that. Now I have a working come along, or I should say chain hoist and/or engine hoist. So, and I even have a load leveler, right, to level transmission and engine loads so that you turn the crank and it levels the engine and or slants the engine in a direction you want, so you can slip bolts in and out and everything. So no matter what, I won't get, if I get myself into trouble, I can totally get myself out of it. And there's now room in my garage. All I have to do is shove some things out of my way, and I'm ready to go. And so very soon I'll be getting to that. And then I can go back. And what's nice about that too is that if I do get something in that I can do quick, it's not in the garage. Excuse me, it's not in this part of the shop. I have the lift table, so if I have like a small machine or whatever, just crank out real quick, I can do that, and without upsetting the project that I got going on in the garage. So that's starting to work out really good. So let me see what you guys are up to, and I think where are we at? We are at an hour and 36. Perfect timing. Kitty in the bathroom. Duct tape on the elbow tube. Brett goes, ew, right? And he goes, hold on, wait. He goes, I wrap the toilet paper around my, yeah. He goes, I don't go digging with one ply. Yeah, one ply's dangerous. You get breakthrough. You don't want breakthrough. Matey goes, he goes, Brett, the last time I used one ply, I got in touch with my inner self. That's a good one, Mater. Yeah, I got in touch with my inner self. Brett goes, ew. Yeah. Duct tape on the elbow tube. Kitty in the bathroom. Bravo goes, Darwin just came in. He says, meow. Or hi, guys. Nice. Darwin. Meow, meow, meow. Yeah, I'll get better pics. Like I said, I have them, but I don't feel like going through them now, and it's getting too late. He's got a freaking hummingbird stuck in the garage. And he goes, I put the feeder out for it. They are just stupid as hell. Can't get it out. Yeah, that can be a pain in the neck. Is it crapping all over? Bravo says, he says, big generator. Sounds like an old Yes album, which I still have on vinyl. Yep. Yeah, Yes is good to keep on vinyl. Brett says, Roxy meows high. Yep. Big Janner album has the song Love Will Find a Way. Yeah, it will. It will, won't it? Yeah, like I said, I'll have some better pics. I mean, I have a lot of them, and I was able to get them off the phone. Now, some of them I didn't save. I didn't realize that. If somebody, like my family sends me these constantly all day long pics of the cats, and then I'll do that sometimes. But like I said, I don't walk in the house with a phone, camera or a phone or my cameras or whatever. I just don't. So I see a lot of cool stuff, but I don't take pictures of it. You know, they'll send me silly cat pics. I can see why people do that, right? Long before I ever had cats, people would be sending pics all the time and talking about cats and sending pics, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, what's so interesting about cat pics? Because they all weird. They're funny. They're weird. Sometimes they, like this morning, they all went to the back mudroom and everything. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I got to start my day. I got to go eat breakfast, whatever. And it's hard because you have to pick up 3 or 4 cats and move them. So or what I do now is I just throw them, right? I reach down because they try to get in the refrigerator and they all want to do this at a certain time. Like they will do that to me. And they know they're not supposed to, but they don't care. Right? They egg each other on. So now I realize, look, they're just cats. Either shoo them out of the way with my foot, or I play like a game of like basketball or whatever. I just go like this, I scoop them up and I go, bye, next one, bye, next one, bye. And I just literally throw them. And they go across the kitchen floor and they land on their feet. I'm like, see ya, next, you know, because they're not going to break. Nothing's going to happen to them. And Beansy, the kind of runt, he'll look at me with those big eyes, which you haven't seen yet. And sometimes he looks at me and goes, are you kidding me? You hurt my feelings. You know, that kind of shit. And I feel a little bit of guilt for a little while, but that wears off. You know, they're out of my way and I can, because they literally will trip me. If it's not one, it'll be the other. And I'll go to turn to move. And they're, you know how they like to go around your feet and your ankles because they're saying hi and they're cuddling up next to you. Or the other thing they do, and they got this from their mother, if I go to walk in a direction, they will run right in front of me. Like literally right in front of my foot and stop. And then you trip, you know, and you're like, whoa, what are you doing? You know, jeez. All right, we're out of here. Thanks for stopping in, fellas. Have a really good weekend. And Brett, what did you say? You made Klaus upset, right? You gave him some blessings, and he's like, only my priest could do that. I guess I can see that. If he's a Catholic, I'm guessing because he said priest. Yeah, you're not allowed. Nobody's allowed to bless them except for Jesus, and Jesus speaks through. Well, from what I understand, from what I remember, I think the Pope is considered to be the representative on earth of Jesus. And I think that the priests have some obligation underneath that to some degree. So they can't receive effectively random blessings unless it's somebody from the church. So yeah, he got upset. He was like, "Don't do that because you could be literally cursing him with devilish, intent, so to speak." Yeah, I think that's what it is. I mean, I was raised around a lot of Catholics and everything. I studied the religion a little bit, but there's a lot of intricacies there with the Catholic religion that are definitely different. But interesting. I caught that. I'm like, whoa, right. I'm not making fun of him or anything like that. Or you, Brendan. You don't have to feel bad or anything. But he did get upset, though. Yeah, I know. Yes, of course. Yeah, you apologize to him. But yeah, we're in interesting times. What is he? Malice says, in 87 was the year of Big Generator album release. All right, fellas. I will see you guys on the next one again. Have a really interesting holiday or a really boring one. Depends upon which one you want. Because if you just want to sit back and chill, I hear you on that. I actually wanted to cut the lawn, but it doesn't really need it. It's been so dry, guys. I just don't want to create a dust bowl, like, a dust cloud. I don't see the point. My brother was telling me down in North Carolina, he said they've had like nothing but constant rain. So he hasn't gotten a lot of stuff done that he wanted to do outside. But we only had that nice little bit of rain the other night, and everything is so dry. Like, I'd have to water before I would cut it. Like, I'd have to water and wait for a few hours, or, come like water at night and come back like the next morning-ish. And but there's all of these dead leaves and junk everywhere, and like it's starting to build up. Some of the two front sections got it, but back here it's like really nasty. So I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. If I get up early enough, I might water it in the morning and wait a couple hours and then cut it and try to rake and clean up some of that crap. But I don't know. I don't see any rain really in the forecast, so I'm not sure what I want to do yet. It really needs to be watered. The whole lawn needs to be watered, but that's not really going to do a lot until the rains come. It just might tamp down some of the dusty crap, because I don't know, wants to cut the lawn with dust everywhere. It's all over you. It's all over your mower. You're breathing it in. It's you look down, it's all over your feet and your boots and your clothes, and it's all up in you. And you're like, why did I do that? That didn't help. All right. It's snapper time. No, not the snapper. No. Brett says, happy weekend. We'll talk later. Yeah, I'm going to go watch one of my shows, go get some more food, check my blood sugars, get some more coffee. Well, actually, I have coffee. I didn't really drink it tonight, fellas. I didn't really smoke much. Look, see? There's really nothing in there. I'm like, I'm not going to really smoke. I'm not really going to drink. I'm not really going to do anything. Control myself a little bit. And, have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next side. It's like, I feel like I'm saying I'm going to see you guys next year. Because like the end of the summer, like Memorial Days and certain holidays, it just feels so weird. You're on the other side of that. And I love the summer. I love hot weather, especially when you have air conditioning at hand, right? Because you can go out, get hot and sweaty, and then you have a way of cooling off. I'll see you guys later.